What do I look for when I'm hiring somebody? What are the characteristics of the individual who comes to work for me? So there's a few things that I look for that really stand out with me. It's less about college education, whether or not they have an MBA, and all of that other stuff. Now, there's a few things about that. I've written about this very topic. What does an MBA mean to me, really? It means that somebody took some initiative. If they went to a good school, they may have worked hard to get there. So it's some indicator that they worked hard to get where they are. That's just a data point. It isn't the school itself. I tell you, I have had some employees from Ivy League schools that can't spell worth a shit, and that's a problem. And so I have some of these people that come to me from these great institutions that are not what I would consider to be all that well educated. So it is not the definer for me. I will gladly hire somebody who doesn't have a college degree if I can find other evidence. I know of one marvelous individual who supported her family. She worked multiple jobs, and she did it from the time that she was in high school. There was no way she could also go to college and still support her family. And yet this individual is marvelous in every regard, and she deserves a shot at leadership just as much as the individual who earned that MBA. It all depends on their skill set. If she learned and has the knowledge to do the job and she's a great manager, in my book, she's just as valuable and maybe more than that person who earned their MBA. So all it does is, I love the fact that people take their initiative to earn their MBA. And to have that knowledge, I think it's wonderful. You can compress a lot of learning in a very short time. So I'd never say to somebody, don't go get your MBA. Never in a million years. I think it's a wonderful thing to have. However, when I'm hiring somebody, I'm looking for somebody who has character, who can work hard and can push themselves through to do really great things. If I see evidence of that in their resume and in their references and the people that I talk to, that's going to carry just as much weight. So what am I looking for then when I say self-reliant? I am looking for people who have evidence of a self-directed life, that they took initiative, that they have a strategic understanding of where they're going and why they're doing it. There's two types of people that I hire in companies. One are the tactical and one are the strategic. The tactical people, the ones that sit there and can do tasks day in and day out and build this amazingly tactical structure, are great. It's a necessity in a company. But then you also need people who have strategic minds who can think about the game and where you're going in a business. So you need a combination of the two. You're looking for the best talent you can find. It doesn't matter what color they are, shape, size, background, whatever. If they can do the job well and they are marvelous at it, that's the thing you have to focus on. And from that, you're going to get amazingly diverse organization. You'll have a little of everything. One of the biggest companies out there in social media, one of the best known companies that everybody knows, I've gone to meetings there where there's nobody in the room my age, and these are big meetings. I've gone to these presentations where they have 100 or 200 people in the room, and there isn't anybody in the room over 50. And they claim to be, we're very diverse, and we hire all these people from every background, and we don't discriminate, and on and on. Well, sure the hell you do, because there's nobody in your business over 50. I looked around the room and I went, there's nobody my age sitting in the room anywhere. And so it's nonsense. And so companies discriminate all the time. They just hide it under different things. And I don't believe in discrimination at all. I believe you hire people on the basis of talent. And so one of the buzzwords that you hear a lot is this thing about we have a very defined culture. So when I hear that, I often think, that means that everybody thinks alike. And so what I'm looking for in an organization and what I'm looking for in hires are people who have kind of a unique perspective. Nikki, one of my working partners, is brilliant at this. She knows how to find these people that are a little bit different and a little bit on the fringe, and they bring something extra to the business. We think of it like an ensemble. We think of it like a band. You have percussionists, you have a bass player, you might have two lead guitar players, but they play in very different styles, but it kind of works together. And so, the Doobie Brothers had more than one drummer. And so you have this ensemble and this way of bringing things together to create your unique sound in your business. And so when I think of hiring, I think of it much the same way. I think of an ensemble cast, and I think of people who complement each other and help each other to be better. That mostly what I'm looking for is people who are self-directed. So I look for evidence. I look for things like in a resume about some of the things that they decided to pursue, some of the things that fascinate them outside of a work environment. Looking for personality. I'm looking for a self-directed life. Nobody wants to sit there and try and motivate somebody in a job. I'll tell you another story about motivation. When I went to the University of Wisconsin, one of the requirements was that we had to take a physical ed class. This was back in the late 70s. I don't want to say how old I really am, but anyhow, I picked horsemanship because it was bizarre and different. And I thought it'd be fun to ride horses for a physical ed class. So out I go to the stables, and I'm brand new to horses, and I'm sitting there, and the horses are all different temperament. And there were these horses that were sitting there. There was one that was really calm, and was just standing there like a plug. And so the instructor said, all right, pick your horse. And I immediately picked that horse. It was just standing there still. That's not going to hurt me. So she said, okay, fine, get on that horse. And so I get on the horse, and we get out to the arena, and we're all lined up. And I am working like hell to keep this horse moving. It just didn't want to do anything. I was sweating like crazy. It was wintertime, it was cold, and yet there I was sweating, trying to keep this horse moving. It just didn't want to move with the rest of the horses. So we came back, we put our horses away, and I was just wiped out. The next week, the instructor said, Tom, you were on that horse last week. I said, yeah. He goes, all right, I want you to ride Peanut. Now, Peanut was this Morgan, stubborn, ornery horse that was just full of energy and wanted to kill you. And I was terrified. She said, yeah, I want you to just get up on Peanut and ride him today. I want you to see the difference between the two horses. So I go over and I get on Peanut, and I'm terrified, and Peanut just wants to go. We get into the arena, and all I'm doing is I'm sitting there, I'm just controlling Peanut's energy, and Peanut was just one of these horses that whatever it was we were going to do, he just couldn't do it fast enough, really wanted to go. And so I had to sit there and control the energy of this horse, but it was not that bad. So we get back, and we're putting the horses away, and the instructor comes up to me and said, Tom, what'd you learn? And I said, well, he was not as bad as I was expecting him to be. And she said, how hard did you have to work? And I said, well, not that hard at all. She said, there you go, there's the lesson. She said, it's much harder to put energy into something than it is to control it. And that lesson has stuck with me ever since. I look for those employees that I don't have to put energy into. I look for those employees that want to do things. And my job is to just kind of nudge the boundaries, and that's about it. So that's what I look for when I hire. It's nothing else. It's just nothing else. There's all these people who go through, I believe in doing a fairly deep dive into references and finding out if the character really matches and if they're not just playing. The hardest people to ever interview, my God, are HR people, because they sit in so many interviews. They have it down. So you're sitting there going, how do I screen an HR person? They're some of the hardest people in the world to screen. So I'm not going to lie. So you want to be very careful there. And but I think that for the most part, I do want to know what the character is. I do want to know what that individual is all about and whether or not they're driven. I want them to be excited about coming to work with the rest of us. That's what I'm looking for. That's what I'm hoping to get. I'm hoping that they show up with just as much enthusiasm as the rest of us. If they don't, they're probably not going to be a great fit working with me. And so that's really all it comes down to. Thanks for watching this episode. If you want to follow us and know where we are, you can find us in a bunch of places. We're on Middlerock.com, which is our website. Up at the top, you'll see things for upcoming Zoom events that you can participate in. We bring in other speakers and we talk about entrepreneurship. You can also find me on Tom on Entrepreneurship on Quora, as well as Tom Nault on Quora. I also have a personal website, TomNault.com. You can find there, but I don't talk about business as much. So you can find us in all of those different places. And so we hope to hear from you. Write us, let us know what you think. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Don't forget to hit the bell when the next one is coming up so that you're notified. And thank you very much for being here.